Well, hello, my soul friends. It's Victoria. It's so fun that I have so many people that send me emails or let me know they watch these videos that now I'm just imagining talking to you, which makes it so much easier for me than just talking to a camera. But anyway, I've got a lot of things on my heart, a lot of things to share with you about the new year. And so pull up a chair, pull up a cup of cozy, and spend some of your time with me for you. Truly, every time I do a video, it's with the intention of supporting someone out there. And me too. I mean, we're all in this together. We're all learning and growing. So thanks for being with me. I really appreciate your time and your comments and your all of the things you do to keep my channel growing. And here we are in 2025. So how is the new year feeling for you? I have a couple of topics. It's kind of going to be like a hybrid talk here because I've just been sitting with a lot of things and I'm sure some of you can relate to it. So let me just tell you at the top here some of the topics I want to explore with you. Acceptance. I talk about acceptance a lot, but I want to relate it to, I call it saging, growing into our wisdom years. I also want to talk about transitions as opportunities. Yes, a new year is a transition. It's a calendar year, the Gregorian calendar. We start fresh in January. But every day can be a transition. A new job can be a transition. A shifting out of a relationship is a transition. Growing older can be a transition. So, transitions really are opportunities to pause, reflect, reassess, and choose in the direction of your possibilities. So I want to talk about that. And I also want to talk about what stories are you bringing into the new year? So let me back up a step because this is really important. I share this a lot with my clients. So I'm going to give it away the next time I have a new client. They're going to know, but most people guess it. What is the word in the middle of the word believe? We have such positive associations to the word believe. Of course we do. So what is the word in the middle of believe? No, it's not live. Most people think that it is actually lie. So we really need to check in, listen to our inner dialogue, catch those lies of the mind when we're telling ourselves a story that's not even true. Not even true. So we have to clear those lies so that we can fully live our potential and possibilities, right? Okay, so I wanted to start with that, but then bouncing off of that, stories. How do we get into our personal stories? Well, this is my philosophy anyway, after years of doing transformational work and lived experience. It's all about needs. When we're little, we always have needs, but when we come into this world as a fresh soul entering a human body, we have primary needs like being safe, belonging, being loved, being fed, being, making sure we have contact with another human to survive. And then those needs as we grow become, more important to our personal development. A need for acceptance, a need for love, a need for encouragement, and so forth, right? So, this is how conditioning starts. This is how we start to develop into our identity and adapting into a way of being so that we can meet the primary need of being safe. Number one, no matter how old we get, we're still in the core of our unconscious is that desire to feel safe. So we create when a need's not met. Say, I always use this example, a baby's crying and the mother's in the other room getting a moment, and the baby's felt sense is no one's coming for me. So that felt sense is like a bookmark for later when verbal skills develop, that we can connect to what is this feeling of being abandoned. What does it mean? And because we're egocentric, we make it mean something about us. Must mean I don't matter, must mean I'm not good enough, etc., right? And we all have these, we call them the negative core beliefs. And they develop when a need is not met. And then we have that negative core belief, and then we begin to compensate or overcompensate, trying to get that need met, but from the wound, I say, not from the healed, empowered self. So then our wounds become the need not met becomes a wound, becomes a belief, becomes a pattern, becomes a story. We weave our identity based on the feeling and the experience we're getting back from our family of origin. Even if your parents did the best they could, and everybody does with their own programming and conditioning, but this is how our stories develop. And unless we do our inner work, we just keep passing them on to the next year. We tend to weave our stories in with the family stories, what we know about our family history and what our mom and dad did and what relationships look like and food and money and our level of economic stature. Is that the word? Stature. All of these are woven in, covering up our beautiful soul essence and soul potential and soul possibility. So all this stuff is over it, right? Just blocking us, hiding our light, preventing us from really growing into our full potential. So what story are you living in right now? Is it the same story from last year? Is it a new story? Now, new stories, how do we get new stories? We need to check our beliefs. What are you telling yourself about who you are and what you're doing and what is possible? I'm going to weave this into aging in just a moment. But so there's that personal story, but then here is another story. Collective stories are called myths. And so there's myths around aging and all kinds of things. But I want to tie this into the myth of aging. That there seems to be a collective unconscious agreement. I notice it more as I get older. Please tell me how you feel, whatever age you are. As a side note, I don't often talk about my age because I remember studying Mario Martinez's work a while back. What is it called? Biology, mind, body, biology. And he said something really interesting. And I really do stand with this. I'm not ashamed of my age. I think every age you grow is a privilege. Both of my parents died in their 50s. So every extra year beyond that is a gift. But here's what he said. When you get into that collective agreement of an age and you are like in a box, and I'm really paraphrasing here, but say, you turn a certain age and suddenly you've got all these associations to that. And then people associate you as that. And then your biology shifts to that. In other words, you feel like you're aging more or you don't have as much energy, and all the mythology of aging just saturates your body and you become that. So we don't want to be put in a box. So I don't often share my age, but I have some topics coming for this new year. I have so many topics. Like I want to talk to my women and men, but mostly, I work with women who are struggling a little bit with aging. I want to talk to women, and I am one of them, who have a younger partner. I want to talk to women who didn't have children for their choice or not their choice, childless women. I want to talk to motherless daughters. For all of these, I am. And I have lived experience and also training and healing around it that I want to share. So many things. So I'm going to do a whole nother series of videos just saying, where are my people? And tell me if any of those relate to you. I've got many others. Where are my people who have had a lot of grief in their lifetime? So right now, focusing on acceptance and aging and weaving this together, talking about stories. So I invite you to check your story and notice, some people love the age they are. That's great. They have a positive association. That's awesome. And I believe that's what we need to move towards. I do believe as I get older, I'm noticing ageism. I know I have friends that are looking for jobs and they get a felt sense of, I'm not going to get a chance because of my age. So these are real things. So the acceptance of that. And I love to bust myths. I love to invite us all to bust out of old patterns, beliefs, a way of being that we need to check and say, is that even true? Are we still telling a lie? And are we in a collective agreement of a lie? And I know that have been feeling, actually, I'll be really vulnerable here, the last few years, like the seeping, like darkness of, that it's too late started to scream louder, even though I've been telling myself that since I was, in my 20s. It's too late. You should have gone to college when you were 18. It's too late. You should have got married at this age. Anybody do that? It's too late. Believe me, it gets louder as you get older. But remember, we have the volume. Turn that down or answer it. No, it's not too late, because right where you are is right where you're meant to be, and you're right on time for your possibilities and potential. I don't believe your potential or your possibilities expire. They may look different. They may not be the same thing exactly, but here's the thing: as long as you meet the need of it. So say, like I was pursuing acting and I gave it up a long time ago, but there's still this little actress in me. What need would be met? A need of creativity, expression, um, and a need for showing up for my potential. Well, I'm kind of fulfilling that here with these videos. At least it feels like it a little bit. And the bigger need that grew from my soul mission, which is a need to be of service to others. So all that came together. So if you feel it's too late, but there's something you wanted to do that it's too late to do, think about what need was going to be met. What would it provide you? And then get creative. And what could that look like right now at the age you are? Okay. So here's a quote that I love from Diane von Furstenberg. Um, Aging is out of your control. It's life moving. But how you handle it, though, that is in your hands. And as I do, I love quotes, but then I love to add on 2 quotes. I would say it's in your mind. How you handle it is in your mind. And in our mind, we get to check on those collective agreements, unconscious agreements. Oh, yeah, at this age, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not supposed to wear this or have my hair a certain way. I remember, I turned 40 and my hair's always long. It grows. My hair grows so long. I cut 8 inches of it all the time. And I remember unconsciously feeling like, I need to cut my hair. I need to cut my hair. Why? Because that's programming, right? That's the inner alert. When we get that fear alert, that means that you are stepping out of a mythology, a program, an unconscious belief or agreement. So I literally Googled women over 40 with long hair. Literally did that, seeking the approval of others that it's okay that I have long hair. Here's the collective thing we need to break free of. And that is, if it resonates with your soul and you desire it, there you go. Give yourself approval. You are the authority of your life. We need to break out of it, but it's still real. I mean, I can feel, most of us empaths, you can feel, can't you, when you are out of that agreed upon unconscious place where you're supposed to be as a woman or a woman of a certain age or anything, all of the stereotypical unconscious agreements. When we move out of that, people are uncomfortable and we become uncomfortable because why? We have the primary need of fitting in, belonging. But I believe, especially now with Pluto and Aquarius going forward for 20 years and a lot of other things happening, we are being called to our authenticity. We are being called to break free of those limited beliefs and lies of the mind. And we are being called to create more empowering individual stories and a story for our collective unfolding. So, how's this feel for you so far? Is it resonating with you? I hope so. Let me know. Comment. Let me know where you're viewing from. I always love that too. By the way, I'm doing some shorts. I'm trying new things. One of them, I was suggested to do some shorts on a different channel, and it's called Soul Shorts, I think we called it. It's just little 1 minute here and there. And I've been talking about visioning for the new year, but there'll be little, for those of you who like just little bites of information, you can look for that on YouTube. And here on this channel, the Soul Nurturer channel, I'm continuing to offer transformational support and looking at soul work, like dream work and astrology and our inner work. I had this image the other day. I'm like, how do I explain my work? And I saw a heart, and one side of the heart was soul, mind, and then the point is you. So we talk about soul, mind, and you. Anyway, this whole channel is unfolding in process, so I'm always open for tips, suggestions, requests for topics to cover, and I'm just going to continuing unfolding as you are, as we all are in our lives, just right where we are. And so let's get back to acceptance, because acceptance is a hard thing for people, and I like to swap out hard for different. Remember my demonstration of your arm? This is your comfort zone. Everything you do, unconsciously and even consciously, it's where we go to feel safe. And when you try to shift to the other side, what happens? It feels uncomfortable, it feels different, it feels awkward. And what do you want to do? You want to go back here. So any kind of change requires the practice of the new way of being until it becomes familiar to your subconscious mind. Otherwise, you're going to feel stuck. You're going to reject it. I wrote a little something about that. So this is what I wrote about stories. Our stories can become our maps forward, or they become roadblocks that keep us stuck in a way of being that's familiar. And our mind, our ego really sets up the roadblock of not safe to proceed here because it's trying to keep you safe. And it thinks it's keeping you safe by not moving out of your old conditioning, right? The majority of our programming and our conditioning was in order to keep us safe. This is why it's challenging to shift. And this is why someone like me, a transformational hypnotherapist, work with mind body experiences, can help you move out of stuck places, help you through the transitions to not drag your old story forward, but to create a new story, an empowered story. Okay. So, or the story becomes an old map that continually reroutes us back to the old familiar place or experience. I call that the old neighborhood. We end up there over and over again. Like, why is this happening again? Why am I in the same kind of relationship? Why am I still experiencing this belief? Because the old map took you to the old place. So we need to create a new map, a new story, new beliefs, drivers, and step into that with all of our being. Make it so familiar to the subconscious mind that it happens quicker than later, right? Sooner than later. I really, truly, as I was saying, got really stuck in an aging story. I got stuck in like the work I do. Maybe I'm not needed anymore. I guess I've mentored a lot of people, either in a conscious agreement or just people that have worked with me have moved on to do something similar. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm supposed to pass the torch. Maybe I did what I'm here to do. And I really was letting that story have power. I was empowering that story, and it was disempowering me. That's really key right there. Our stories can either empower us or disempower us. And I was really getting disempowered. And here's what happens with our stories. They become the filter that we look through. Everything, we look through the stories and our beliefs. So I was finding evidence, fear, false evidence appearing real. So I was in my human experience of fear, a distinction I make where souls, love, peace, joy, freedom inside a human experience where we have limitations and fear and things like fitting in and other people's opinions, right? So I was collecting false evidence appearing real that, yeah, maybe it's true. I wasn't getting calls from certain clients I used to work with. I tried to put together a few women's retreats or groups locally, and they weren't happening. And I was like, must be true. But I had to dissemble that old belief or the an old myth of aging that was growing in me because of the age I am, making me blocking all my potential. So we busted free of that one. I got invited to be part of a women's retreat in Cabo, and I got to teach 9 beautiful women for 6 days straight, and it was amazing. And my light ignited. My wisdom was just like spilling out and over, and so grateful for a place to share and shine, as we all desire. We all want to share our unique and beautiful purpose, and we all want to shine our unique gifts, don't we? I hope that, something in this video helps you to shine in 2025. I've been saying 2025, the year for your soul to fully come alive, to fully shine, to be in your potential and power. So we need to check those individual stories. And one last thing, what was happening with me, and I think this happens for a lot of women, but back to that stuck place I was in because of the age before I broke free, is that I was feeling my capacity change with energy a little bit, and maybe like recall I was noticing a little bit. And so I was comparing myself to my old self and comparing myself to women doing what I do that are younger, and I was discounting myself, right? So comparison is such a trap, and it's so disempowering. And what we need to do is a big reset and a big reframe. And so my reset and reframe was one of the things that came to me years ago. Like, I may not be able to like regurgitate like current information, because this phrase came to me. There's fast-paced information, or like fast food, fast-paced information, or there's slow-cooked wisdom. So my women of a certain age, you have something no one has, and that is slow-cooked wisdom. With every lived experience, with every heartbreak, with every challenge, with every class you took, with every book you read, with everything that wove together, or I like to say distilled in you, your soul medicine, unique to you, unique to your life, unique to your experiences, that doesn't expire. Your potential doesn't expire. Your possibilities may shift but don't expire. And your soul medicine grows stronger and stronger, as does your wisdom. Okay, that's really what I wanted to talk about. I want to invite you to recognizing that, things are going to change. So stop trying to change what is changing. Here's the beauty of it. When we stop trying to control, which we can't, we must learn that at some point. There are things that are just beyond our control that we just need to accept. And when we accept change, we accept the changes in our body, and we accept the changes of how we look, or, maybe you're not getting asked out as much, or job opportunities are shifting. When you accept what is, everything will change. Your perception will change, and new ways of seeing and being will arrive. Okay? I know this is tricky, but here is a quote from Lao Tzu. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they will. So there's a lot going on in the world, in our personal lives, in the government, some things that are hard to accept. And yet we must accept the change that is before us and trust that it's unfolding something that we may not understand or know. But what matters is, even if you don't understand or know, it's important for you to grow. I gotta do it. I'm sorry. I'm so the Dr. Seuss of transformation. It happens in my brain. I hear, oh no, there's something to rhyme here that's gonna work. And so let me take that further, is what you know in your unconscious mind, your programmed mind, your conditioning, the unconscious mythology you're tethered into. What you know, is it preventing you from being able to grow? That's really important. It's really key, because as long as we have breath, we are here to grow. As long as we are here, we have purpose to share, something to contribute. And I do think as we get older, we start to doubt, do I have something to contribute? When, you know what? We have even more to contribute. So stand with me at whatever age you are. Shake off that old story. In the retreat, at one point I said, shed the shit. Just shed the shit. Shed the shit And then let that be the compost that grows your beautiful and unique potential, no matter what age you are. So shed the story, empower a new story, check your beliefs, clear that windshield in front of you so you can see your way forward beyond the doubts, beyond the fear, beyond the limitations, and get a new map with empowered beliefs and that empowered story and a vision to move towards that pulls your heart and soul with joy. Okay, I hope this helps you. Let me know your thoughts, your takeaways, where you're viewing from. Go watch some of the shorts. Let me know any topics you would like me to explore this new year with you to support you and having an empowered, beautiful new year. Also, I'll be back next week with the new moon in Aquarius. So peace be with you until then. It's my joy to be here with you. Thank you so much for spending some of your sacred time with me. Bye-bye.